Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of Beginner's Guide to the World of Tanks, done by me, Highflyer15. Let's load up the game and go through everything that the game has to offer. As you get into the game, the first thing you'll be met by is a training tutorial. It's not really a tutorial at all, since all it does is throw you into your first battle without knowing anything about the game. You can either take the tutorial and receive an M3 Steward and a few credits for your trouble, but the M3 Steward isn't that good, and the credits you'll get from the training will all be used to do forced stuff, like use all your XP on upgrading all modules on a tank you don't really want to fully upgrade. But the first tanks are easily upgraded, so go right ahead and take the tutorial. And you can, like me, stop the tutorial at mission 7 out of 8, since the only thing that'll get you past that mission is if you buy a tier 3 tank, and there's plenty for you to learn in between getting that far. When you've done that, get back to this video. Even if you didn't take the tutorial, you can still follow the tutorial from now on, so let's get going. At the bottom you can see a selection of tanks. Right now you have 4 default tanks. These are free to buy later on, since these are the starting tanks. You can't get any credits from selling them, unless you equip them with modules which will cost credits. As you progress in the game, you'll unlock more and more tanks, and the slots at the bottom will have to be increased to house them all. You can increase your garage by doing 2 things. Either get a tank that's going to be moved in the future, not something we'll talk about anytime soon, or by purchasing garage slots with gold. Gold is the real life money currency in the game, and gold can be used for several things, but we'll get back to that later. At the left side of the bottom, you can choose different nations, tank class and tier. On the right side of the screen, you'll see all the stats for the selected tank. The only things that will change here is the amount of HP you have and the rate of fire and penetration. Also, engine power. As you equip a new turret, your HP will increase a little, and when you equip a new gun, then the penetration and damage values will change as well. But the stats will not change if you add equipment to your tank. For instance, if you add a gun rammer to increase your rate of fire, it won't show in the stats, which is a little misleading since you won't see anything change before you go into an actual battle. It only changes when you add a new module. Let's take a look at the first 4 tanks. You have the Lildeucedeuce, the MS-1, the Renault FT, and the T1 Cunningham. As you can see, you've got all 4 standard tanks available to you from the beginning. Earlier in the development it was only 3, so you gained a starting slot since the arrival of new tanks. Slots are worth 300 gold, 150 on sale, so getting a new free one is a good thing. Before anything else, you're going to have to make a choice, or choices. You're going to have to decide which class you will want to aim for: light, medium, heavy, tank destroyer, or artillery. I'll give you a quick rundown of what each tank will and will not be able to do for you on the battlefield before we get into the deeper end of the tech trees, speaking about specific tanks. First up, the light tank. The fastest of all the classes at the earlier tiers. You'll be able to fly around the battlefield, flank and attack from behind. You'll have close to no armor, and you won't be able to deal a whole lot of damage either. Think of the light tanks as the mosquito in the animal world of World of Tanks. Fast and deadly if used correctly. Next up we have the medium tank. Slower in acceleration, more health points and bigger guns make this class perfect for brawling in cities and with their heavier counterparts. You'll easily be able to take on heavy tanks and win in certain one-on-one situations, but your health points will still be a lot lower, so you'll need to land a lot more hits than they need on you. The medium tanks are the hyenas in the animal world of World of Tanks. Then we get to the big boys, the heavy tanks. These tanks are very slow and will not get you to the party fast. Luckily, they make up for this by having a lot more armor, health points and a lot more powerful guns. You will have to decide very early in the match if you want to attempt flanking later or if you want to go and hold a spot on the map. Most of the time you won't be able to do both, unless you're on a great team that allows you to do so. The heavy tanks are the lions on the battlefield, since they dominate most of what's on their path, but even the lion fear the hyena, just like in the real world. Then we have the tank destroyers. Very fragile most of the time, very fast, and they wield very powerful guns most of the time, except a few ones. I don't really know what to call these in the animal world, since they're mostly good at dealing damage once and then disappearing until they're reloaded. And then we get to the artillery. Long-range fighters who can sit in one end of the map and fire a shell all across the map, destroying the most heavy tank in one shell if they're lucky. Most of the time these are slow moving, but some of them are fast as well. So let's describe them as monkeys. Monkeys who throw poo at the other animals, because that's what people think of them in the game. Everybody hates them, since they can easily ruin your day by hitting you once. And so would getting hit by poo. Your whole day would be ruined. Now that you know what each class is like, it's time for you to decide. Have you decided yet? No? Well, I know how you feel. There's 4 nations to pick from, so let's go over each of them as well, which will give you an even better idea which way you'll want to go. Before going into a deeper detailed view on each of the nation's tanks, let's just describe them with a few words. The USSR. Sloped tanks, bounces a lot, both very slow and fast tanks, big alpha damage, slow reload, low accuracy and long aim time. Germany. Traditional tanks. Decent speed, has a lot of view range, good reload compared to the damage output, high accuracy. USA. High armor values on turrets, decent speed on all tanks. Top tiers focus on lower alpha damage but faster reload speed. Turret tank destroyers. The French. No armor whatsoever on any tanks in the entire tech tree, except for a few low tiers. Higher tiers get magazines in their guns, being able to fire 6 shots in a little over 12 seconds. Great flankers, almost all of them are very fast. Of course, all of these nations have exceptions, which I will cover for you in a later episode. With this information, I hope that you know which way you want to go for now. You can always change your mind. But let's go back to what we have right now. Right now you have 4 pieces of metal with a gun strapped onto them. Before you press the mighty red button up top, let's look around the garage first. Top right, you'll see buy premium, get gold, exchange gold, and convert experience. We'll get into these later, since you won't have to use either to get past the first few tiers in a matter of hours. Underneath convert experience is the research button. Click it to bring up your research tree. Here you will be able to pick upgrades for your tank. As you can see, these are very cheap at lower tiers, but as you progress through the game, these will go all the way up to 60,000 experience to unlock a better gun or engine. But don't worry about that for now. When you upgrade a module, like I just upgraded the tracks, close down your research window and go down beneath your tank. Here you'll see modules which you have equipped already. I just upgraded new tracks, so I'll click on the tracks and click on the new track without the green color. This will equip the new tracks and I'll be able to turn faster. Always remember to go down here and equip newly researched modules. Some people forget and get very angry because they don't feel a difference in the tank. I've done that myself, but then I go back to the garage and realize that I forgot to equip the damn thing. The top left side you'll see your crew. Right now you'll see a 50% crew. As they progress towards the 100%, all of your stats will change. You'll have faster acceleration, you'll reload faster, you'll have better accuracy, greater view, and other stuff. When you reach the 100% mark, you'll also get to choose a skill or perk. But that's pretty far off in the future for you, so we'll save that for another episode. Right now, underneath your tank you will see service and exterior. Click on service and you'll be met by this screen. From the top, repairs, ammunition, consumables. Right now you might as well click on repair automatically, since you won't be able to drive your tank again unless you repair it. The more damage you take in battle, the more you'll have to pay when you get back to your garage. So if you're capturing your enemy's base and the rest of the team is hunting down the last 3 tanks and you know that you don't have much credits left, just stay in the base and capture it instead of risking your repair bill. But this only counts in lower tiers. When you get up in higher tiers, thinking about your repair bill in a battle where people need your help to win, you should not be selfish enough to think about the credits you might lose when going to help them. You got that, soldier? Ammunition should also be ticked off at resupply automatically, since you don't want to get into a battle without shells to fire. I've done that a few times, silly thing. As you can see, there are different kinds of shells. There are AP shells, armor piercing, heat, high explosive anti-tank shells, and then there's HE, high explosive shells. The heat shells cost you gold, as you can see over here. These aren't worth buying if you know where to hit your enemy. They will give you better penetration and nothing else. But if you don't know where you can penetrate your enemy, then these gold shells are going to bounce just as easy as any AP shell. A later episode will show you where to penetrate any tank at your tier and +2, -2 tiers. HE shells are used when you can't penetrate a tank normally. The shell will hit your enemy and explode on the outside of the tank, sometimes killing a crew member inside, so bring a few of those with you. Then we have consumables. These are 3000 credits each, and you shouldn't put these on low tiers, since you won't earn any credits if you use 1 or 2 of these in a battle where you only earn 10,000 credits. That's a high number, but use 2 consumables and you've already used 6,000 credits of those. Then come repair bill and ammo cost. In a future episode I'll speak about all of the consumables, but for now there's no need for you to equip any of them, since if you get hit in the gun, you're highly likely dead within a few seconds. But when you seem to have earned a lot of credits, then you can start adding them to any of your tanks, but for now, leave them be. Exterior is just a way to shine up your tank. This will cost credits or gold, but only the gold camos will stay forever. I would advise you to not waste any credits on these, but that's up to you of course. Underneath your service button there's another bar with 3 equipment slots. As you can see, these are very expensive, but on the later tiers you'll want to equip a few of these, especially the gun rammer, which isn't right here, but on future tanks it will be available. This will increase your loading speed by 10%, which is pretty good. The equipment will also be covered in a future episode where I talk about all of the equipment and for which tank they should be used on, but for now, just forget about them. All the way at the bottom you'll see channels, contacts, general, tank companies, and to the right there are 2 nameless buttons. First one with a speech bubble is invites. When someone invites you to a platoon or company battle, a link will pop up asking you to click it. Click it and you'll be in the platoon/company. The other nameless button is your battle history for the games you've played today. All of the battle information will be down there, and you'll be able to scroll through all the battles and see what you earned in each. In channels you'll find other people who have made channel groups, where they speak to each other. You can create your own channel as well. Contact houses all of your contacts, and you can also search for contacts here. To add anyone to your contacts, just search for their name and then right click on it and add to friend list. General is the general chat, and you can speak to anyone online here. Companies is the place where people can join a company. You too, by just double clicking on any company that isn't private. Then you'll have to pick a tank and press ready. Then the company leader will start the battle and you're off. That's it for this episode guys. Next episode we'll talk about our first ride in a tank, and I'll show you all of the in-game UI and how everything works. Take care and I'll see you next time.